What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Spike and NFC North podcast. My name is Imorie, a.k.a. Lex. I'm joined again by my good friend, Axle Roig of the New Orleans Saints, dude. We're going to just kind of be doing an update on our previous little session. The Saints have been through a tumultuous season so far. Lots of losses, lots of injuries, coaching changes. Axel, I'm just going to kick it straight to you immediately, dude. Let's talk about this coach situation. How do you feel about the shift change? Give me your insights. Tell me what you're thinking about from the Saints' perspective.
I mean, the best way to put it is how everyone else has been putting it. The boogeyman is gone. I can sleep well at night again. Dennis Allen is a bad coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Statistically, historically, I mean, there's like he's a pretty damn good defensive coordinator, but I would not put him as a head coach.
It definitely seems like that's a trend in the NFL as far as head coaches are concerned. They're either good coordinators or good coaches, but not really both. But sorry, I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm happy that it's over.
How do you feel about the interim?
But
guy?
I kind of want, Rizzy, dude. I wish. I see this thing on here where I can like show something for it, like on YouTube, but I'm not going to try and do that.
Well, if you text me the link, I can overlay it. But yeah.
So I don't remember his first name. I'm terrible at it. I'm always going to go with like all the things that they're calling him on the internet and what the people are calling him. They're calling him the Rizzler. His name is like Coach Rizzy. That's a pretty tight name.
That's a dope name. Yeah,
but I immediately knew the type of coach he was going to be off of his press interview because he was like, I'm pissed off. Everyone in the locker room's pissed off. We need to be winning. We have people to win.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. I appreciate that type of like attitude, Like I think everybody's pissed off and tired of losing.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to, the Saints fans will boo you. I mean, if you
dude, that's one of the most passionate fan bases, dude. Like, playing in that stadium is like the hardest stadium to play in the NFL. I swear to God, like, you guys are the most passionate fan base, and they'll cut you the fuck out. So,
yeah, but it's nice. But I think the one thing that stood out to me most is after that, they posted the video of last game of the season against the Atlanta Falcons when we were blowing them out and. We had the ball at like the 2. Jamal Williams still hadn't gotten a touchdown that season.
Damn, really?
And instead of taking a knee, which was terrible. That's another player. That's another player I'd honestly be happy to get rid of.
Yeah.
Swakage he's a cool dude, but I don't like him as a player. But long story short, so you remember that happened, and instead of Jameis doing a knee, he changed the play at the. He called audible, changed the play, and let Jamal Williams literally pretty much do a sneak almost in a way because no one was expecting that.
Yeah, of course.
They just thought we were going to do the normal thing and do a knee. And, he literally rushed in and got his touchdown because Jameis wanted him to do that because incentives. You get your touchdown, you get some money.
I got you. Like the bonus situation of the contract and stuff.
Like, he got a bag off of that, so you got to look out for your boy.
Of course.
And then... What was the head coach of the Falcons last year?
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith, was that his name?
Mm-hmm. Arthur Smith.
I think that was it. Yeah. He came out and was all pissy, and Dennis Allen was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, that wasn't me." Smith was in his face cussing everything. Mm-hmm. They zoom in on that photo, and I never noticed this until they showed it. They're like, "This is the new head coach of the Saints." He literally was sitting there, and other coaches were having to hold Rizzy back because he was pretty much just like. Screw you, this, that. He was like literally like trying.
Oh, so you can tell, bro. This is like some classic sideline drama shit.
That's the guy I want. That guy that's like, you want to bring smoke? Come on, bro. Let's go.
Yeah,
we're gonna go at it the entire time.
That's passion.
I'm not in it for politics. Mm-hmm. We're going to stomp you out. We're gonna win. Now, do I honestly think that like we're going to turn our season around? No, absolutely not.
No.
I honestly think after 7 straight losses and the first time that's happened in Saints history since 1999. I don't want it. Just keep it going, dude.
Just take it. And see, that's interesting, though, because if you really look at it, like you were talking about, like Rizzy's passion on the sideline. But let's be real, man. You know who that sounds like to me? Sounds just like Dan Campbell from the Detroit Lions, bro. He's a passionate coach on the sideline. He obviously
That's
has.
What you want.
Yeah, but like also, like if you look at Dan Campbell's rise, bro, you guys could potentially be in the spot they were because there was a like Rodgers last season of the Packers. Like you remember, I think we were 8-8 going into the last game. If we won, we made the wild card or something. And Dan Campbell just showed up with this group of teams, and he was like, fuck this team, all right? We're going to beat their ass. We're going to talk our shit, and we're just going to be the bigger team. And, like, that game, dude, it was pathetic. Like, Aaron Rodgers, like, didn't even wave goodbye to the fans. Like, they were so upfront on us, especially on their D-line. Like, bro, it was abysmal. It was, like, one of the saddest endings to a season that I'd had. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I've been a Packers fan, you know, pretty much since I was, like, 10, 11 years old. And, like, I haven't seen an awful season from them, you know? And, like, sure, like we're talking about coaches in their shift. Like Rizzy, where he is uniquely positioned for the Saints team, it's like, bro, you guys could potentially come back and fuck somebody out of a wild card spot. That's still there's still some merit.
We could be the upset team. We have some opportunities to upset people. Like this week, we play against the Falcons. So again, with him having all that smoke he wanted with Arthur Smith last year, and it's a rivalry game. At the end of the day, you know what it is. Anyone who knows football understands what a rivalry game. It's deeper than any other game.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when they're in your division. Like when you talk to all your boys in your chat, y'all are all playing twice a year. You do not want to lose to them.
I don't, and I just took my first loss to Detroit. Yeah, so you know, I mean, like, dude,
like when you
go ahead,
you get like a random team like. For you, it'd probably, I'm trying to think of a team that y'all rarely ever play. I'm trying to think of like some random AFC team that y'all would never really play.
Like the Jaguars?
I guess maybe the Jaguars or the Patriots or something.
Yeah, some random
never
team
really play. Maybe once every 2 or 3 years you play them. That's one thing. It's like, you lose them or whatever. It really doesn't affect, you know, every win and every loss hurts or helps. But it's like, it's not as bad as when you lose in your division because if your division's a division, like one loss can determine your season.
Absolutely,
in your division,
absolutely, dude.
Especially if you're in like if the NFC is doing really good and the AFC is doing really bad or something like that. It's like, dude, your chances of even like if your whole division's good, either you need to win it or you need to win every other single game. Otherwise, you're not making playoffs.
And that's exactly what's going on in the NFC North, dude. I mean, like we got the Chicago minus the Chicago Bears, dude. The Vikings and the Lions they're fucking like the three of us are like fucking neck and neck, right? And you know, sure there is a scenario, especially if the winning trends keep up with all the other teams in the NFC. There is a scenario where all three of us could be in the fucking playoff. Like I don't know if people keep saying that shit like it's not going to happen, and I'm like, bro, it could easily happen. And you know, like,
it's really possible,
especially if the trends keep going. But you know, see, here's the thing I'm hoping for. It's like we're halfway through the season. You know, we're going into week 10. You know, Packers have a bye, which is kind of interesting to see. So this week, fortunately, I'll be able to really, really step back and analyze and kind of, you know, make some interesting conjectures about where the season's going moving forward. But you know, with all that being said, man, like I just don't know. Like last year, and that's the thing about the season, man. Like the race is so tight, especially with the NFC North being the strongest division in the NFC. Which nobody saw coming. I mean, I thought there was a chance, you know, minus the Bears issues. You know, thank God there's not 4 good teams. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that there's definitely a lot open. There's definitely a lot of things that can happen in the season moving forward. I think that, you know, weirdly enough, none of our teams really did much at the trade deadline, you know? And, I mean, apart from us trading Preston Smith to save on our cap space next year, which I honestly agree with. Like, dude, man, he's kind of been in on 2.5 sacks, but like for what he is in this new 4-3 defense, he just doesn't fit the new scheme, which he said, which is why, you know, a lot of people are kind of up in arms about the trade. But I mean, I don't know. You're talking about rivalries. Like, dude, this season is going to come down to like in the NFC North, which rivalries the Packers can win. And in your division, even though the Saints are out of it, it's really going to come down to what rivalries the Falcons can win. And, you know, and like at this point, the Falcons are kind of like, dude, if they finish their season, you know, 11-6 or something like that, they could still make the playoffs and win the division. But I mean, you know, it's all up in the air too, especially with everything, dude. But let's change gears just a little bit. What did you think about a lot of the trades that happened during the trade deadline? Just like, did you see anything that kind of popped out or like kind of made you like think about things, or do you think there was a pretty mild trade deadline? Because I think not really shit went down, to my opinion.
Maybe for you. I mean, for me, it was the beginning of the cold era, as I'm going to call it. Like, we're in full rebuild mode. I'm going to say it like Marshawn Lattimore, still a top 5 cornerback when he's healthy in the league.
I give him 5'7", something like that.
Trade him off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
traded him off.
That's crazy.
We got a lot of draft, like a lot of draft picks for him and everything, but you know, it hurts.
Do you think that was like a cap based like decision? Like this is, I don't know the specifics of his contract.
Oh, dude, it's something that we saved a lot. It's like either 20 something or 30 something mil.
Yeah, so that was a GM decision.
Yeah, Mickey Loomis doesn't want to get fired.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty much what it's coming down to. But
talk to me about Mickey Loomis, dude. Before we started the show, we were kind of briefly mentioned like what the okay. So because I'm not that familiar with Mickey Loomis and his whole thing. So give me the 4-1. What's up?
Mickey Loomis has always been a back and forth GM.
When you say back and forth, what do you mean? Oh, you mean like he just hasn't been consistent?
Makes great decisions and then bad ones.
Okay, so there's no
ones like he finds ways, and I knew it was going to catch up eventually, and it's kind of catching up to us now, which I knew was going to happen. Like I said in the last one, I knew when Drew Brees retired that it was going to start just rolling down.
Oh, you knew that, bro. And then especially when you guys lost fucking Sean Payton.
We're starting to implode. That's all that's really happening is we're starting to implode. But Loomis was really good with Brees because he was like, all right, we have what we need. We have a great quarterback. Let's just get everything we can now and go all in. Yeah. And we went in, and we kept doing this like dirt pylon roll, whatever the heck you want.
Like a snowball roll down the hill?
Rolling it. We're like, we'll pay it next year. We did all this thing where we just kept on pushing it. And it was like, everyone was like, Mickey Loomis, GM of the year. He does so great. He always finds a way to get out of these cap spaces. We're always like $100-something million over the cap in debt and in the cap space and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And he always found a way to do it. All he was doing was he was restructuring contracts, pushing them back.
He was basically doing what the American government is doing with their national debt. He's just going to roll it off until the next quarter, basically.
Technically, Mickey Loomis 2028, I guess.
Yeah, technically, that'd be crazy. I mean, shit. I mean, at this point, we don't know.
But I mean, it's all starting to hit us now. I mean, and it's gonna really hurt with like finding a good head coach because, like, dude, I hate to
dude, there's slim pickings right now.
I agree with it. I agree with every podcast that I've read. It was like we are one of the least favorable or desirable places to go as a head coach. You have an aged team. I think our average age is like with the team is like in the 30s.
Oh shit! You guys are old. Oh fuck, that's big.
We're either like it's somewhere between 28 to 32. It's it's somewhere in there.
Okay,
that's like my rough guess.
Okay.
Super over in cap space. I think even after we got rid of Marshawn and we restructured AK and did all these things, I think we're still like 50, 60 mil over the cap space.
Damn. So y'all gonna have some hard cuts coming in the offseason.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of stuff. Like it's just those two things. It's rough, man. It's really rough. I've heard things about pretty much like Mickey Loomis was pretty much like, you know, our original owner, Tom Benson. He died, and he was really good buddies with Mickey Loomis.
Okay,
so like. Everyone's like, dude, he was going to do something so bad for Gail Loomis or Gail Benson, Miss Benson, to literally be like, we're getting rid of you.
Yeah, for sure. He has to do it. Commit a cardinal sin. That totally makes sense. And I mean, and that's kind of the problem with it.
I think he's pretty much been there. But also, the thing that's always gotten me the worst over the years now is just starting to see the effects of what he did kind of coming back to haunt us. Mm-hmm. I've said this to Ken every time. Hate when we trade with the Eagles.
Bro, why the fuck do you guys keep doing that shit?
Every time we traded with the Eagles, it'd be like, oh, here's this great player. What can we get back him for him? And they're like, oh, here's a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, like literally, like, here's an 8.
And we're like, what? Okay, that's fine. It's just, it makes no sense to me. I don't know what the Eagles do and how they get these good players. And
see, that's another thing, too, because you just touched on a very, very valuable point.
Like,
dude, why the fuck?
Right now, too, we're not even on it, but like the Eagles, if it wasn't for Saquon, they would be just the exact same, if not worse, than Dallas right now.
Oh, they absolutely would. Literally, like, and that's another thing too. We're talking about trades in division, and that's one thing about the NFC East. Why the fuck do they always trade in their division? Like the fact that Saquon went from the Giants to the Eagles, right? And
that's a cardinal sin in my opinion.
And then not only that. We picked up McKinnon, who is arguably defensive player of the year, like off ramp, like just. And I'm not even just saying that because I'm a Packers fan. He's got more picks than anybody in the NFL right now, and he's consistently proven shit. He's one of the best safeties. And you know, another thing that's interesting is because like, and we're gonna switch divisions around. We're talking about the East for a while, dude. Dallas, what the fuck, bro? Like, What the fuck, bro? I don't know if you saw our previous episode.
The one nice thing I think that we did this season is I really think we demoralized.
You started Dallas's downfall.
Cowboys so bad.
You fucked them up, dude.
They literally have just been that bad. Like, we annihilated them.
It was in Dallas, right? Or in Arlington, right?
Since then. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you came home and you shit on them, and you started a losing streak, bro. And then, I don't know if you heard about Dak's injury, man. He's probably out for the season, bro. You make this guy.
I didn't know he was.
Oh,
injured.
Dude, his hamstring is off the bone.
Damn.
Yeah. So not only did you make him the highest paid quarterback,
take CD off.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You just gave this man $60 million.
I'm gonna take CD off my team.
Yeah. You might need to, but you might need to. I think he might even be hurt too a little bit. I think so. I think there was something there, but
I think it's a shoulder injury. So big rips to my fantasy team.
Yeah, dude, your fantasy team is fucked. And honestly, our fantasy league is a whole different conversation. Like it's like honestly, we play this week. Or did we play last week?
No, we played last week.
You beat me. Yeah, you beat me, you fuck. All right. But, but you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, too, where, like, this season in the NFL, like, there's so many fucking variables and shit. And, like, when we're talking about trades, like, in division trades especially, like, another concern I have, and I'm speaking from the perspective of the AFC at this point, is why the fuck, and this is something I'm really kind of confused as to why Jerry Jones would do this. Why did Jerry Jones not pick up Derrick Henry and let him go to the Ravens? Like, you give a stacked AFC team the best running back in the league because you don't think he fits your culture?
I think we talked about this last time, but I'm going to say it again. He needs to either pick being the owner, president, whatever his title is, or the GM, and just deal with that one thing. But him being El Presidente and in charge of everything, it's just like
it's too much.
He's the cancer of their culture.
It is. He absolutely is. Culture. And it's funny because on Saturday I'm going to have the Cowboys fan Vontae, who was on our previous episode, on, and we're going to be deep diving into the Cowboys and a lot of those problems. Like, because I just recently yesterday I took the time and I watched like a 2-hour documentary on the history of the Cowboys from like the 80s to now, because I didn't know the ins and outs of all the coaching changes with Jimmy Johnson, all the bullshit with Herschel Walker back in the 80s. Like, there's so many different things. And that culture used to be so volatile, And I think that in the new modern league, you're not allowed to be as much of a Cowboy as half these players used to be back in the 80s and 90s, bro. Like, these motherfuckers used to be out here, fucking hookers and, like, doing all this shit and then showing up in practice and, like, it's fine. And that's
our lifestyle.
Yeah, it used to be, and the Cowboys used to be untouchable. But, going back to the Saints, especially you guys, like, you guys during the Breeze era, like, I remember when you guys won that Super Bowl, bro. Like, I was happy for you. I absolutely was. And that was literally just like that same, in my opinion, it was the same essence of that mentality where it was just like, fuck you guys, are going to do what we want. We're going to win this goddamn football game. So, I mean, right now, at least from my perspective, I'm seeing things as if, there's a culture shift in the coaching staff and a lot of the new rules and regulations that the NFL is putting on. But then there's also a mentality shifting from a player perspective. Because in my opinion, dude, how many players have you seen sit out for contracts and negotiations this year? Like, it seems like a record number of people to me.
Yeah, I mean, with us, not many, because everyone comes.
Well, yeah, not with you.
Normally,
but just like across the league, dude. Like,
if they're healthy, I mean, this year that's been.
I mean, like, we had Jamar Chase sitting out for time. We had Jordan Love sitting out during OTAs. We had fucking all these other receivers, dude. Fucking, CeeDee Lamb was pissed off about some shit. Like,
yeah, no, AK Kamara sat out during like OTAs and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this. It just seems like right now in the league, people are more concerned about their at least. In certain people, they're more concerned about the conversation than I am about the love of the game. At least it's from my perspective. Because, I mean, like, as a Packers fan...
It's a business.
It is.
I don't hate it. It's a business. Like, it's your body. I mean... I wouldn't want... Like, unless I was, like, 6'3" and jacked, or just jacked and highly athletic in football.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we don't play
football. Not in the pros.
I
mean, I know you remember. I mean, I'm sure you probably have seen it. If you haven't, I would definitely go see it. You remember when sports science was a thing?
Nah, literally.
On ESPN?
No idea. You got to tell me about it.
They did they used to do things where they talk about like the science behind the sport. They did one on NFL, like NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think they equated it to getting hit by a professional linebacker or something like that in the NFL was the equivalent of getting hit by a full-size truck at 15 miles per hour.
Oh, that's fucking
It's the same amount of force.
That's insane. I mean, and obviously that's why we have these new shifts in the NFL with these guardian helmets, all these new tackling protocols. But that comes to one thing I want to talk to you about your team, bro. And you know where I'm going.
Injuries.
You guys are fucking dirty. You guys are dirty. Like, what the fuck is up with these? Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, what was with them trying to fuck up ankles and shit? Like what is with the intentional aggression? Like,
hey, Rizzy said it best. We're all pissed off. That's all I can guess. I don't know, dude.
Do you think that was just like an emotional thing?
You're also talking about the team that literally had what was it? Bountygate.
Yeah.
I mean, like this is new. We've always been the dirty team. We've always played really aggressive.
I mean, you guys are less dirty now without Sean Payton, though. So I'll give you that, though. But Sean Payton was a snake. I mean, it
wasn't really Sean Payton that did that. That was Von Miller, I think. Not Von Miller. I don't remember his name. He'll come back to me.
It's all good.
He's one of the guys that played. He's one of the linebackers that played with Ray Lewis in Miami.
Oh,
a big old classic.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Because wasn't Jimmy Johnson the coach then? No, Jimmy Johnson. Wait, was he
for Miami? I don't even remember, dude.
Yeah, because I know Jimmy Johnson was the coach of Miami for a while, but that was before he went to the Cowboys.
He would have been in middle school. We would have been in middle
school.
Oh,
no, that wasn't Jimmy Johnson. No, that was different. That was a different era. But I mean, like, dude, and that's another thing, too. It's like, if we really want to look at the NFL, that's the point of this podcast, dude. Well, depending on who's having the conversation, we can take things in different areas. But one of the things I'm really curious to hear your perspective on is, what do you think the outlook is going to be on the NFL as a whole? Because I've noticed that with every season that moves on, we're having more and more international games. Do you think that there's going to be a point when the NFL, what's his name, Roger Goodell, wants there to be because I think his goal is to have every team play a game out of country. Like, how does that feel to you?
Yeah, that's thinking. It's okay. I mean, it just means I get more football to watch on a Sunday or a Saturday or whatever day they do it on.
Yeah. Okay. I feel that. And honestly, that, it's
all it does. I mean, it sucks for the players because it's jet lag and all those things you got to worry about. Like, we did one. They've done ones in London's pretty normal. I think this year
there's Germany,
Ireland or something like that.
Yeah, and then
Germany.
We did Brazil for us.
Brazil. Mm-hmm. So I know they've talked about Mexico too, because there's actually a lot of fans in Mexico that I think it's the Raiders, all those SoCal teams and all that. They're big fans of them.
Which is another cool thing about it, though. It's like, dude, I didn't know the Packers were big everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business again. He's just trying to make money. I get it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do I think it'll take off like that? Do I think it'll ever be the level that football is at?
No, never. It never will be. Never will be. No, dude. And that's another thing, too. Is football is not a sport you can... soccer, bro, the act of setting up 2 soccer goals and kicking the ball between 2 points is so much fucking easier than setting up even a goal post. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about it. It's the NFL, the sport of football. And I love that it's called football, even though the rest of the world calls soccer football or whatever the fuck, or, whatever the fuck. I think that, there's a certain, preciseness that has to come with play calling. In soccer, it's constant movement. The ball's constantly moving. It's more of a low blow. Let's take advantage of certain people. You know what I mean? In football, it's broken up, but it's intense. The entire time the clock running, everybody's sprinting.
It's more bursts. It's tiny bursts instead of a sprint or instead of a marathon. That's the best way I could put it. One's a race, one's a marathon. And just matchups, finding the bad matchups, and with American football, it's good play calling and being able to, as the captains on let's say you're the free safety and you're watching the play and you're hey, they're doing this, blitz this way or pull back or do something like that. Or if you're on offense and you're they're blitzing, get on the outside and just sprint. I'm gonna lob it to you.
Yeah.
You really can't do that as much in soccer. I mean, you can do it. You can see someone you can see when there's a bad matchup and you're you're gonna sprint this dude.
For sure.
I'm about to launch this thing out in the corner and go get it.
Absolutely.
So it's still there. It's just it's completely different game.
And and that's the thing I was gonna allude to. It's if you think about conceptually, the way, and I know we're talking about soccer live in this football podcast, but it has merit. Conceptually, the game of soccer, I mean, I'm sure there's certain formations that you guys can use to drive the ball down the field. But in the design of the game, there's not a lot of room for rapid evolution You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the league of football now, like, this season especially, the run game has been more important than the passing game for, like, 80% of the teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that that's honestly arguably because, like, with the new added rules and regulations of the league, it's a lot harder for defensive players to play on receivers aggressively to stop that. And, you know, there's certain quarterbacks, you know, like Lamar Jackson, you know, when Jordan Love is on it, you know, fucking Jared Goff. Hell, Derek Carr against the Cowboys. You know, there's certain games and circumstances where they're allowed to just like fucking air it out. It's more like the gunslinger mentality. But, you know, what I've noticed is that the Chiefs haven't lost a game. And to be honest with you, like, they haven't looked exceptionally fucking great, like, at all. Like, they're a beatable fucking team. Like, the Bucs almost got their ass with, like, all of these injuries, you know?
A few teams have almost got them. It's just they can't. I don't feel like people, and I don't watch enough of the games to honestly know.
Yeah,
people aren't capitalizing is the biggest thing. Like they mess up. Patrick Mahomes has been messing up a lot.
Yeah, and then he went down for a while last week.
On it.
Yeah,
just no one's capitalizing. Yeah. That's all it is.
Do you think that that's from like a lack of quarterback development, or do you think it's on the receivers?
He doesn't really have many receivers, right? Well, now he does because he has D-Hop. Xavier Worthy's okay.
Yeah.
He's a good, like, sprint young guy.
And Likely's out, right?
Outside of, until they had D-Hop, I mean, they were not. They really didn't have a wide receiver.
Did D-Hop play this past Sunday?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the case. And that didn't give him as much of an impact as I thought.
He got a tutty.
He got a tutty? Okay, so he got a tutty. That's cool, but I mean, shit.
The Bucs aren't terrible, man. The
Bucs are actually
terrible.
They just have unfortunate like injuries, and like honestly, anytime they play the Falcons, like your division especially, bro, the refs decide y'all, bro. Like I'm not even gonna flex, like because the Bucs playing the Falcons, losing, they lost twice to them, right? I think they lost twice.
I don't know if they played twice or not. I know they beat them once.
Yeah, no, they beat them once and they lost twice. They lost twice.
Beat them once.
Yeah, they lost twice.
I don't remember.
But I mean, you know, it's one of those things too where like nowadays the league's coming down to yards and, you know, it's yards and when you get them. Because on the episode last week, me and the guys kind of went to this thing. We were comparing, and this is in my division, we were comparing the Detroit Lions when they played the Tennessee Titans. And the score of that game was Detroit beating the living shit out of them, right? But Corey and Lavon and I, we actually pulled up the stats and looked at them. Dude, do you know that Tennessee outscored or outplayed the Lions in every single category? Yards per game, like passes completed, yards by rush, everything, and they still didn't get any points from it. Which is an interesting thing to think about. Is because like back in the day, if you win the stats, you used to win the football game. So the Dallas Cowboys usually have a 12-5 seasons because during the regular season they normally just get the stats done. But I mean,
hey, we found a way that don't mean nothing. We outscored. No, we had more yards than the Panthers last week, and we still lost. And I think that was the first time.
Like that's a low, dude. You guys lost the fucking Panthers, bro.
It was a stupid thing. They were like, it's the first time. It was like, out of all the times that's happened since they've like kept track of it in the league, I think that was the first time it's happened in over 750 something games.
That's insane.
Or something like that. Dude, it's so bad. Like it's been so many low blows. But you know, being a Saints fan, it's what I'm used to by now. Because like, shoot, we had Breeze, but I mean, I'm sure you remember the year that we had the worst statistic.
What are we talking about? Like 2008, 2010.
Nah, it was like 2016, 15, something like that.
Oh, really? Oh, you're talking about that was a couple years before you guys won the Super Bowl, right?
Nah, we won in 2009.
Damn, it was that long ago?
Yeah, dude.
Damn!
We got real close a lot of times.
Damn! It was that long ago, bro? That fucks me up, dude. That fucks me up. Wow, you just aged me like
there was
fuck.
the year... The Minnesota Miracle was a year that we probably could have gone at least to the Super Bowl, I think. I think we could have beat the other team if we beat them. The Rams year.
That's right. I remember that one.
Year we probably could have got to the Super Bowl that year, but I mean, that's what it is.
So with all of this being said, you know, and I think we've touched on a lot of the weaknesses of the Saints. Dude, so moving forward, and you can talk about however you think, like what moves
rebuild.
How?
Rebuild.
Where do you start? Who do you build around? Do you guys keep Derek Carr? Like, how do you feel about everything? Like, what is the deal?
We pay him way too much damn money. So
how much does he get paid a year?
Next year, he is the highest one on our per year payment. I know that.
I wonder if he's not like
somewhere, dude. He's probably 40, maybe low 50s.
Low 50s. Okay, so he's your guy. So, and you guys,
he's highly paid. Like, I think if we don't trade for someone, pick up someone, or draft someone, he's definitely starting next year. And even if we do, I'm sure we'll still start him next year just because, you pay too much not to.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, if you get another quarterback, just, keep it going, let him develop, then throw him in. But, I mean, going into that, I will talk about them, what I kind of want as a thing, which is, one, we have to make space. We got to get rid of these players that are not producing, even if they're legends, a.k.a. my boy Cam Jordan. I love him to death. He's not producing. We pay him too much. Hey, Cam, I love you. Thank you for shouting me out that one time on Instagram when I talked about your 5-piece you got against the Falcons. I love that. I appreciate you, big dog. But, dog, you're getting old. You're not producing. You either need to take a really big pay cut and restructure, or you need to retire.
Yeah.
Love you, big dog, but you might need to retire because you're not producing. Chase Young, we only had him for this 1 year, so I don't have to worry about him. We really have no, except for maybe Carl Granderson, we have no defensive ends. So our secondary is we got Honey Badger. He's good. He's getting old.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple more years of him. He could still play free safety and do some good stuff even at his age. We just traded Marshawn, so we're out of corner. Offense is we just need linemen really, because what's happening? We hit. I think at one point we had 45% of our active roster was injured or on.
Oh my god, dude! Seriously? That's a bad fucking number,
we
bro.
were starting people off of the practice squad. We were starting people off the practice squad because it was almost all we had left. Which brings me to, again, the point. Linemen are so important. I don't know why people don't want to talk about that, but linemen are so important because when you don't have linemen,
your quarterback can't produce.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Everyone gets hurt because these big dudes on defense are hitting these little tiny dudes that are you and me's height, is more built. So it's what are they supposed to do, dude? Like I said, you're getting hit by a full-size truck at 15 miles an hour. You're going to get hurt.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
But, I mean, I don't know, dude. We need to get a lot of new linemen and start there, kind of. But also, when it comes to draft, I mean, hey, let's just keep tanking. Get some good picks. Dude, if we can stay at, I think we're projected at second overall pick right now. Dude, good job. There's a chance I could pick up Travis Hunter. I'll take Travis Hunter.
Oh, since we're going there, okay, let's talk about it. What players would you love to see the Saints pick up in the draft?
Whoever the highest rated player is.
So you're not of the mindset that are you
full rebuild?
He said full. So rebuild. Just start over from scratch from every fucking position.
Dude, yes, everything's gonna have to be redone by scratch. We're so far over cap space. There's no trading. There's no picking up people in the free agency. It's not possible. You're not going to get good people for $5 million a year.
You're not. You're absolutely not.
So it's just you're going to have to draft. You're going to have to start new. It's going to take probably. There's a chance, that we just get some great player who just makes things happen in a year or two. We're not going to be Super Bowl bound, but we could see some good development in a year or two.
Sure.
But I don't see us honestly getting at the earliest an opportunity to possibly be a contender for Super Bowl status again until 3-5 years.
Yeah, and that's a reasonable amount of time. But see, here's my question. Previously we touched on, we touched on a little bit the GM. So when we're talking draft times, and with you guys not having a permanent head coach right now, this is really interesting. So going into this draft, who is going to be the guy in your GM's ear telling him which coach do you want? Do you want Rizzy to eventually get awarded the head coach job? You want him to go pick up somebody off the grid, like Bill Belichick, or some of these coaches who are sitting in the back burners? Robert Saleh's available, because like you said, it's an undesirable situation, just like Chicago. Eberflus is definitely going to get fired.
I do not want Belichick. I don't want.
Why do people not want Belichick as a coach? He's got 7 fucking Super Bowls, bro.
He's old as hell, and he had health problems when he was with the Patriots till the end. You want your head coach getting so stressed out in a game day has a heart attack, and then you got to look at your special teams coach and be like, all right, bro.
If you win the Super Bowl, would the coach be happy? Bill Belichick, if he died in the game and they won the Super Bowl, he'd be content. Just saying. And you know this is probably true. This guy's soul is winning football.
But also, you got to remember, he literally has openly said, and this is why he didn't get the job with the Falcons, because I remember everyone was saying he was going to get the job with the Falcons.
We thought that.
The reason apparently why he didn't get that job is because he wants full control.
And honestly,
I don't really want that.
That's why the Cowboys
again,
suck.
Like I said, we have no money. We have old roster. Who wants that? A guy who's going to... Belichick wants to come in and win. If he came in, he wants to come in and win. He does not want to do rebuilding.
I see what you mean. He's looking for like a ready-made situation to walk into to just be dominant and be a contender.
Yeah.
And see,
if Andy Reid's heart gave out because he eats cheeseburgers after every win,
I do that.
Yeah, dude. And they're like, "Hey, you want to come coach the Chiefs?" He'd probably say sure because they're already a contender.
Yeah, but see, here's my thing though. Do you think that there is a scenario where relinquishing control from the GM and the previous people in place can actually benefit the team? Because I will say, now I'm only speaking from my perspective. You know, Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, we don't have an owner. So that's a whole different thing that we're allowed to do. Like our coaching staff and our GM are allowed to do a lot more things and they have a lot more control over the culture of the team. But when that last year Aaron Rodgers left, and I touched on this a little bit earlier in the episode, when Aaron Rodgers left, dude, that walked off the field after Detroit knocked us out of the playoffs, bro, we were in fucking shambles. Shambles. No receivers. We lost Devontae. Lazard's washed. Fucking, what's his name, dude? Randall Cobb's old as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, dude, we lost all of our tried and true people. But because Gutekunst said, fuck that shit, I'm going to do this my way. And with the fact that he has control, absolute control, is honestly a beautiful thing. Because all of the young receivers that he picked up, you know, minus Dontavian Wicks, who's been pissing me the fuck off this season. God damn it, Dontavian, if you see this. Catch the goddamn ball. But anyways, outside of that, bro, he got us the cheapest and best receiver core in the NFL. We have so much fucking depth. Now, the problem with our particular situation, and
would you say that your wide receivers are actually the top one, or do you think that they're just capitalizing on good plays?
Honestly, dude, I think that the strength of our receivers
that's two completely different things.
I think our depth is our strength.
Wide receiver core, and that is literally like, oh, I'm getting blitzed. Vontae's out there somewhere.
Yeah, we're not that.
And then there's the plays are going right, and they're getting open, and the plays are coming together.
Yeah, see, I think they're two different things. I think, and I'm glad that you capitalized that point. I think that the reason our receivers are all kind of performing equally, like, I mean, hell, Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs alone, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole different thing. I think our strength right now is that people, from a defensive perspective, don't know which receivers are going to. Because we don't have a true number one. We don't have a Devontae's out there somewhere. Fuck, Jaden Reed's on today. Throw it to him. Hell, curveball, Christian Watson. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard from a defensive perspective, which is why, and we were touching on coaches fired earlier, when Robert Saleh got fired from the Jets, that shook me, right? I was like, you're going to fire this guy week 5 or whatever?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Oh.
You thought so?
Yeah. I thought they were going to at least let him ride out through the season. I did.
No.
I did.
No.
And you know what happened after they fired him? They lost 3 straight.
I'd be surprised, honestly, too. Like, I mean, would you think what's his name with the Eagles is not in the hot seat?
Oh, Sirianni. Sirianni's definitely in the hot seat. 100,000% right. He might not be the coach there next year.
What week are we on? We're on week
10. We're going into week 10.
I think we're going to
week 10. The Ravens and the Bengals are playing right now.
Somewhere between 12 and...
You think he's gone before the end of the season?
Somewhere between 12 and 15, I think Sirianni could get fired.
I don't think so.
How their season goes.
I don't think so, dude. I think the Eagles are kind of...
You think they'll let him ride out?
I think they're going to let him ride off. I think they're going to let him ride off and let him go probably like right after if they don't do well in the playoffs. But my point with that being said...
If they make the wild card, I could see it. But if they don't make the wild card, I think they're going to...
Yeah. But my point of that was...
Because of them not making wild card goes out, I think they're going, honestly, no.
No.
Yeah, I don't think... They're going to make wild card because the best team in the NFC right now is the Commanders.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, dude, Jay Daniels, I've been saying that forever. But my point to bring up the coach firing Robert Saleh was, where was he that next Monday? Do you know where he was?
Cabo.
No, he was at the Packers practice. Him and Matt LaFleur are old college roommates. So we immediately, as soon as the Jets let him go, we're like, bring Robert Saleh in. And he's consulting not for our defense, but for our offense.
Hold up. Let me clip this real quick. Send this to NFL for tampering.
Oh, do your thing. Do your thing. And, and it's weird, though, because, like, I saw Robert Saleh on the sideline, and I was like, at practice? I was like, because we just got a new DC, Jeff Hafley. Like, we're just kind of starting to get things going. And I was like, we're absolutely not going to shake that up. But we brought him in as a consultant on the offense because he's a defensive mind. So we're using him to draw up the schemes that are allowing us to make plays like we did with Malik Willis coming in as like a backup. You know what I mean? Like, the perspective to look at your offense from a defensive mind that's not your defensive coordinator, dude, that's unparalleled insight. Like, that's something you can't get. And honestly, Robert Saleh, this is something I briefly touched on earlier, like, a lot of coaches can't be coordinators and head coaches. Like, it's kind of starting to seem like, like Dan Quinn, he was badass DC for the Cowboys, and he went to Washington. Now look what the fuck Mike Zimmer's doing over there. You know what I mean? Like, that whole organization, Mike McCarthy, and we were talking, like you just said, about how, the Saints aren't like a good organization, bro. You can't come to be the head coach of the Cowboys and make decisions. You can't. That's why when they inevitably fire Mark McCarthy, which is honestly, I think it's a necessary move, but I think that Jerry needs to sell the team before that happens. It's not going to happen, but I think that would be a lot more beneficial.
He ain't gonna sell, dude. That he's gonna die on it.
I know, and his son is such a dumbass too. Like, it's, dude,
like a big business. It's a bit, like I said, dude. It keeps on. Always goes back to NFL is a business. He's a businessman. He may not be a smart man, but he's a businessman. Mm-hmm. He's not going to get rid of that asset, dude. I mean, I think what was it? I can't even remember what
which asset are you talking about? Like McCarthy?
Like this? No, like the Jerry Jones and
the
Cowboys in a whole. I can't even remember what the actual number is, but I mean, he took it. I think he bought it for like $100 million back when he bought it.
Yeah, he bought it in the '80s. Yeah,
billions now, billions, and like you got to think how much money he's generating off of that to himself for doing absolutely nothing but just continuing the idea of Jerry World.
Yeah, literally. There's no merit to the Cowboys team at all. Like, and that's why I'm so interested to film this episode I'm doing on Saturday. It's because, like, and I know this isn't related to what we're talking about right now, what kind of is, but, like, I think that there's a lot of untainted data about, like, the effects of the psychological aspects of players and how they respect the coaches in your team and the performance in clutch times. Yeah. Because Washington Commanders, dude, for a first-year coach with Dan Quinn, all these new coaching staff, rookie quarterback, mid-receivers, dude, they're fucking shit up. Like the fact that Jane Daniels coming in as a rookie and the fact that C.J. Stroud is not looking like he did last year, there has to be some merit to that. There has to be, like, a certain sort of je ne sais quoi as far as, like, their equilibrium and their cohesiveness from the coaching perspective, at least from what I'm looking at. But, I mean, like, dude, let me ask you this question. Derek Carr is fairly injury-prone, man.
Trash.
Honestly, I wanted to say that off rip. Because when you guys tried to replace Drew Brees with Derek Carr, honestly, when Devontae Adams went to Vegas to play with Derek Carr, I was like, this guy? Like, this dude? Like,
you gotta remember, one, they're buddies. They played in college. And two,
true.
It was right after the season that Derek Carr actually looked good. He threw for like over 5,000 years. It was the best year he had under John Gruden.
Mm.
John Gruden made him look good actually that year.
Mm.
He had Hunter Renfrow. He had all these people he could throw to. I mean, if I was a wideout and I was like, I'm tired of this crap, I want to go make some money and go somewhere where I'm gonna get the ball, that would have looked appeasing to me.
And it did for a while.
Get to go back and lock in with my boy. Like, how'd I do it?
Mm-hmm. And see, but the funny part is after Carr got traded to you guys, and he had to do a Gardner Minshew, bro, he was like, nah, bro, fuck this. Like, I'm sitting the fuck down. Like, did you see that clip of him on the sideline that day? He's like, I'm running for my fucking life. Like, which is also a testament to coaching. Yeah. But, I think that there's definitely, like, in my personal opinion, which is something I'm definitely going to explore as we keep creating on this podcast. But, I think that there's definitely, like, a connect between, like, connections and, like, trust between a quarterback and his receiver that can kind of transcend time. Like, you know what I mean?
It's huge. It's huge, though. Like, being able to know as a wideout and a quarterback, like, I know in this many steps or these many strides, he's going to cut. I know exactly how much time I have until I throw the ball, and he will be right here.
Mm-hmm.
Having that type of chemistry, it's huge.
Without even looking type shit. Like, it's like muscle memory. It's insane.
It's pure chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. So real quick, I want to ask you. I know you have the off week this week.
Yeah, what's up?
But how you feel about the Bears in 2 weeks?
Oh, bro, that's perfect that you brought that up, actually. So, all right, let's talk about the Chicago Bears. Now,
you gonna put a big doo doo? You gonna put a big doo doo on?
We're about to beat the shit out of Caleb Williams, dude. That's just about to be disgusting. Like, so here, let me give you my basics. I'm glad you brought me here, Axel. Good segue. All right, so the Chicago Bears are an organization that operates a lot like the Dallas Cowboys. They don't have a leader.
Going off
legacy. They keep making the same mistakes over again, expecting different results. They keep bringing in a badass quarterback. And, actually, that's perfect that you brought that up. Because I have a stat right here on my phone. Let me pull it up right now. Because,
It's prepared.
Oh, dude, I do. Yeah. It was literally just sitting in the group chat. So, we'll start with Justin Fields. In 8 games, Justin Fields had 171 points scored in 2023. They were averaging 321 yards per game.
Running
his ass off. Yes,
his entire time.
The entire time.
Or with the Bears.
All right. So Justin Fields, 171 points scored, averaging 321 yards per game. With Caleb Williams, 172 points scored, a 1 point difference, and 295 yards per game, a 20-yard drop, 26-yard drop. And this was supposed to be the whole fucking charade. This was supposed to be their come to Jesus. And here's where this is actually further, so I'm pointing further. Matt Eberflus? Oh, dude, before I even get there, let's talk about chemistry. We're talking about quarterback and receiver. Have you seen the shit going on between DJ Moore and Caleb Williams right now? Dude.
No, but I can imagine.
Let me tell you what happened. So there was one play. I think this was Arizona. This might have been the week before. It was either Arizona or Washington. I can't remember before. I think it was the Arizona game. Caleb Williams trying to pass the ball, right? Ball snapped. I think they're in shotgun. 5 wide receivers, and everybody's scrambling off the field trying to get open. He gets pressure. Caleb gets pressure coming towards him in the pocket. He's scrambling. DJ Moore literally just looks at Caleb Williams and then runs out of bounds while the play's still alive and goes and sits down on the bench.
So what you're telling me is there's about to be a wideout on free agency next
What
season?
I'm about to tell you is that Eberflus does not have any chemistry going between any of his players on that team. Apart from the Chicago Bears defense, they're irrelevant. Like, Caleb Williams, and it's not a slight at them. Fuck the Bears as a Packers fan. Let me just go ahead and get that out there. Fuck the Bears. But, it's like one of those things where it's like, man, I kind of feel for him. Because, my podcast cohort, Lavon Lane, great guy, love him to death, one of my good friends, like a brother. Damn, that motherfucker has suffered enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, dude, Matt Eberflus honestly shouldn't have been rehired. And I think that there's even a problematic thing in place if they fire him, which is arguably the right move. But if you really think about it, they fire Eberflus in this offseason, right? They bring in a new head coach. That would be Caleb Williams' third new coach, third new offense in 3 years. That's a whole new level of product. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's one of those things where when you talk about the Packers matchup against them, first off, we're coming off a bye. We're going to be fucking strong. All right. Detroit, honestly, our game with them was honestly just us beating ourselves. We were fucking terrible. Jordan Love was trying to be a hero, and they were trying to do too much, and there was just no chemistry. But I truly think that when the Chicago Bears line up out on the other side of us, our old Jordan Love's going to come back. I really think so. Because for some reason, that motherfucker against the Bears is just like God, and I think there's a culture of teams, you know what I mean? Hell, even once he gets going,
like us with the Falcons is like, you could be really bad, but Taysom always shows up against the Falcons.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, I love Taysom Hill. I love that guy. Dude, like, he doesn't get enough credit for you guys. But he's clutch, though.
But a great football player.
Yeah.
He just needs to learn how to ball. He just needs to learn how to hold the ball.
Yeah.
He just fumbles too much.
Yeah, and honestly, that's coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either coaching or you're a bitch. All right, one of the two. And I don't think Taysom Hill's a bitch. All right, I think that he needs some mechanics. He needs somebody to push him.
He trucks people. I will say that.
Dude, he's a force.
If I was a corner or a safety,
you do not want to have to charge him, especially when you're talking about the force, like you said, of like a truck. Like, you want to charge against another truck? Like, 2 trucks going head to head? Like, no, nobody wants that. And so, and Great Escape, going back full port to your question, I think that the Packers are going to shit on the Bears. I think the only possibility, I don't think the Bears' offense is going to get going against our defense. That's one thing I don't think is going to happen. which is why I really think that we're going to win the football game. I think it's going to be ugly. But,
what's your outlook on the season? What's your final prediction as of right
now?
For
our record?
Final record prediction.
For our record. So right now we're sitting at 6-3 going into week 10 with a bye. That means we got 7 games left. I think realistically 11-6. Realistically, 11-6. I could see better.
11-6.
I could see better, but I'm leaning 11-6 right now. And that's the thing too is with the Packers, bro.
I was thinking 10-7. I'm thinking 10-7, but that's good.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm
pretty close.
And I think that it really just comes down.
I don't even know who y'all play though.
Oh, dude, that's the thing is we have all division games pretty much remaining, minus one game.
Big games.
Yeah,
big games.
It's going to be big. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be those games. But this is when the Packers were kind of, at least last season, they were a second half of the season team. And I'm hoping that, and we're already in a better spot now than we were this time last year when we made the playoffs last year. And albeit our division is a lot tighter, but I think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to crumble. I think that's what they do. They start hot and then they don't finish. But I think that, like I said, as long as the Eagles don't just fucking go super mode, we're guaranteed a wild card spot. As long as we stay on the same momentum.
I'll give you my prediction right here. I'm looking at y'all's schedule.
Okay, go ahead.
Y'all play Bears, dub. Then y'all play the Niners. Close one, dub. Dolphins, dub. Lions.
That's probably going to be a dub. That's going to be a dub, though. That's what we do. What day is that?
Is that home or is that away?
That's away. That's when we go there. We beat them at their own stadium. They always beat us at ours, though. It's fucked up. Or at least that's how it's been the past couple years.
They're formidable, so I don't know. That could go.
I'm still thinking we can pull that out, but that's where we're going to have to rally. That's what week 12.
I'm just going to put that one, honestly. I'm going to put that as an L for y'all.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm going to put that as an L for y'all. Just because... Oh no, they're on a roll. They're definitely the one to beat, but they got to enjoy it while they can because they're going to lose probably half of their coaching staff after this.
They have to, definitely. Ben Johnson's going to go somewhere for sure.
Seahawks, dub, Saints. Man, y'all gonna get that big.
Now we're gonna beat the shit out of you, and you guys.
It's late. It's a Christmas game, dude. It's a Christmas.
Dude, Axel, we should watch that together, bro. We should. I'll come to Athens. Damn, you're in South Georgia now. Fuck, I forgot. I might come down there anyway.
Before Christmas, I don't know, dude. That's late in the season. I feel like the Saints. Honestly, we're not gonna get many dubs. I honestly think maybe 2, maybe 3 at most. Mm-hmm. I kind of don't even want it, but I think our dubs are just going to be against like big teams that just are like big implications, and we're just going to go out to like upset people.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be a jerk and say y'all get an L on that one. Shockingly,
that's fine.
Vikings next.
I think that's going to be a dub too.
What is that?
I think that's 11-6.
That's 2 L's.
Yeah,
2 more L's.
Yeah, or that'd be 12-5. So you're going to 12-5? Yeah.
Yeah, I could get 12-5.
And see, that's what I'm hoping
you
for.
12-5. I mean, some of those are toss-ups. Like, dude, all your rival, the Vikings one, that's a toss-up.
Where is that game? That's when they come to us, or we go to them.
29th. That would.
I think we go to them for that game.
Trying to look at this.
That's cool.
What it says.
But I mean, honestly, that's another thing too. It's like,
no, y'all are going to them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. That's the crazy thing about the NFC North, dude. It's like with our division being so tight, man. Dude, these games are going to come down to the wire. And I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, the Packers have not gotten blown the fuck out all year yet. Like it hasn't happened. Even with the Lions game,
what was that?
It hasn't happened. You said? It hasn't happened.
What was the last thing you said?
I said it hasn't happened. I don't know what to talk about. I didn't say shit. But, yet.
December 23rd.
Dude, if there's anybody, if the Saints just walk in and mop us, you know how mad I'll be, bro.
We're playing in Lambeau, so getting all those Louisiana boys to play in that cold weather. We came in and
but that's December. That's December. Y'all are gonna be locked up. And see, and you know what? You just brought up an interesting point. The weather. This team this year.
Oh, no one wants to play in Lambeau.
Yeah, but
I
don't know if this Packers team is as used to the weather as all Packers teams of old. I'm just speaking objectively. Because us playing in the rain, bro. Normally, bro, Brett Favre in the rain, Aaron Rodgers in the rain, stupid. Like, crazy shit goes down. Us in the rain, bro, we couldn't even snap the ball if we do it. For some reason, Matt LaFleur has a saying where You know, like even with our scheme against the Lions, it was like, we're not going to start Malik Willis, which I kind of understand from a certain perspective, but like, man, when Malik Willis is the quarterback of this team, we don't make mistakes. Like, we got those 2 dubs without Love, and we were fucking damn near perfect. Like, minus some defensive issues, like Malik Willis didn't throw a pick. I don't think he's thrown a pick for us yet. And I'm like, he's leading the league in picks, which is pissing me off too, because he also has the most touchdowns in the league. You know, it's fucking annoying. Maybe he doesn't. I think him and Joe Burrow might be tied.
Let's do this real quick.
Go for it.
I want to say this real quick too. I'm gonna do my little breakdown of the Saints record for you too.
Go for it.
I think the rest of the season is gonna go like this week. We play against the Falcons. Hey, have I cussed yet this podcast? I don't think I have. Fuck the Falcons.
Fuck the Falcons, though, for real.
So I think we're gonna get a surprising dub. I think the team's gonna come back and we're gonna win on some like crazy stuff. It always happens.
It always happens that way. Why is the NFC? Why is y'all's division so ham? Like the games are so fucking close every time y'all play. It's annoying.
I don't know, dude.
It's fucking stressful.
I don't know.
Continue.
Browns.
Oh God.
Honestly, probably L. Rams. L.
Wait, you think you guys are gonna lose to the Browns? The Browns are dog shit, bro. Like, dog shit.
It's gonna be J-Bo's revenge game. Jameis is gonna get a revenge game.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Jameis, bro. Can we talk about him for a minute? I know. We'll let you finish your ratings, and then we'll go. I'll finish your ratings. Yeah, we'll come back. Yeah.
Rams. So like that. Rams L. Giants. December 8th.
I think y'all are gonna take an L there.
That's a toss up. We could win that one.
Oh, are you guys at New York or are they in New Orleans?
I want to say we're in New York. I think this is in New York. Yeah, it's in New York.
Okay. That's a toss-up then, for sure.
Commanders. Marshawn's probably going to pick off Derek Carr for a touchdown and then go celebrate in our stands with the fans.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome, actually. That's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Packers, I already said we're going to win by about a 50 piece.
Oh, my God. You guys see this, viewers. He's full of shit, but you see this. We'll see. We're going to have you on again before the season's over. Actually, we'll have you on that week, for sure.
Second, this is the game that I want to watch just for the humor of it and the amount of chaos that it's going to bring. So, Saints, Raiders.
Interesting.
We will take an L. We will take an L, and not only will
you really think you're going to lose to the Raiders? Like, I can't believe you're saying that.
We're going to lose to the Raiders, and we're going to lose to them with Derek Carr against his old team. And not only that, Derek Carr will become the first ever
to lose to every team. No!
That's my hot take. That's my hot take.
I'm thinking about that.
We're going for milestones, baby. We're going for milestones.
Oh my God!
We're gonna lose the last game against the Bucks. We'll probably end the season,
dude.
4-13, probably.
You think
4-13?
So what you mean to tell me is you think that there's a high probability because of the contract in place that you guys keep and start a quarterback who's lost to all 32 teams in the NFL next season?
You're paying $50 million.
Dude, there's always a way. There's always a way.
Who's gonna take him?
Bro, do you not see how bad the NFC is? Do you see how bad the NFC is? You don't think he'd be better at Carolina than Andy Dalton? Or Bryce Young? Come on.
You think they're gonna take on $50 million? You think they're going to take on $50 million?
At this point, they need Jesus or Satan or something. I mean, like, dude, I'm just going to be real with you. The Panthers, they need to do any and everything to fix that organization. That shit's fucked. That shit's fucked. Yeah, dude, honestly. Damn. Honestly,
you just took my prediction. Like, probably 4-13, we're probably going to be in the top 4 draft picks come into the season. And, yeah, it's going to be a great offseason. Honestly,
it's going to be fucking awesome. I'm actually looking forward to the offseason because, you know, I have a feeling that this Super Bowl this year is going to be some bullshit. I just have a feeling. Because last year's Super Bowl was
I just don't want the Packers to, or not the Packers. I mean, I don't want y'all to win either, but also I don't want the Chiefs to win again. I don't want a 3-peat. It's just gonna be boring.
I fuck no, dude. Annoying. I want Lamar to finally get past the Chiefs in the playoffs. That's what I want. Like, Because
Lamar, the Bills.
Honestly, it's not going to be the Bills. The Ravens are better than the Bills. I'm just telling you that right now.
King Henry. They got King Henry, the guy who's leading in everything rushing. He's leading in every single statistic. He's the beat.
And so, I think you're right. I think that's a fairly fair perspective. And I think that you guys are going to take. But like I said, I'm really curious to see who your GM goes after if you guys do get that high draft pick. Because, the Saints historically, who are you guys, you know any of your top, first-round picks? Have they gone on to have successful careers with the organization, or do you not have any idea? Because I'm thinking off the top of my head, and I'm like, I don't remember any off the top of my head. I could just be blanking, but
I don't think we had a top pick last year.
I don't think you guys did pick in the first. Maybe you did. I don't remember. The draft was a blur. There was too many fucking picks. But anyways, with that being said, so you said that you were
talking about J-Bo.
That's what I was about to go to. J-Bo? You talking about Jay Winston? I lost you there for a sec. There you go. Okay, what'd you say? Sorry.
Oh, bro. Honestly, the best one that we probably had is Mark Ingram. That was the last one.
God damn it. Ingram was a fucking dog, bro. He was a dog. Yeah. That's that old culture.
Alvin Kamara needs 17 yards, and he will pass Mark Ingram for the most rushing yards in
team history. That's awesome, dude. That's fucking dope.
That's going to happen this season, too, against the Falcons, which is going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So, let's circle back a little bit to something we were about to talk about. Jameis Winston. My
dog.
Bro,
he's a W.
I'm not going to lie. I love seeing him doing well at the Browns. I do.
He is the funniest dude, I think, in the NFL right now.
Dude, he's not funnier than Jair Alexander.
Have you watched?
Have you seen Jair Alexander?
That man literally sits there and he'll be like, he does this because he always has his eyes open. When a man walks into a bathroom and he uses the bathroom, but then he has to wash his hands, he does it aggressively with water. And that's why we need to move like water through the hands of the defense today.
He's on some Mississippi Burning shit. No,
and
dude.
It's like, bro, what are you talking about?
Jair Alexander, in his hometown, just walked out like a team captain. Bro, I'm sorry, if there's no fucks to give, it goes to Jair Alexander. Dude, there was somebody doing a broadcast outside of Lambeau one day. He popped up. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. He was like, the pack is back. And then the woman who was doing the thing said it was a player. It was Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander is the dumbest and funniest fucking player on the team. That's something we'll disagree to disagree on. But, that man is probably the funniest fucking person in the NFL. I'm sorry. It's just my personal opinion. But anyways, going back to Jameis. What do you contribute?
There's some funny people.
There's a lot, dude. The NFL people, especially defensive players. Defensive players are the funniest players in the NFL. I'm just telling you right now. They're always the fucking funniest players. Honestly, Jared Goff is pretty funny too. But, going back to Jameis. Why do you think he's performing so much better on the Browns than he did when he was at the Saints? Do you think it's a coaching thing? Do you think it's a scheme thing? Do you think that it's just Jameis finally coming in his own? Do you think it's because fuck the Saints? What do you think?
Offensive lines help.
True. But even when Jameis was at the Bucs, he was ass.
Did you know, so a lot of people don't know this, did you know that up until that man, Jameis, actually made it to the Saints, he did not know that he had bad vision. He thought anything past 20 yards was supposed to be blurry.
What the fuck do you mean?
I'm dead serious. He did not know he had bad vision until he made it to the Saints.
How the fuck do you not know you have... Don't they do eye tests and shit?
He got LASIK surgery as soon as he got to the Saints because our doctors were like, what do you mean you can't tell what that is? I'm dead serious. Dead serious.
They dropped the ball that bad?
The man says in the interview even there, he was like, no, it's so much clearer now. I used to just throw the ball because I knew that they were down there or something like that. Like, dude, it was like, what? Which is hilarious because when he was with the Bucs, it was like he had 3 years of 5,000 yards or something like that.
Yeah, and a dog shit record, but that was also a whole different era. That was a whole different thing. But and I think that that's a testament to the league now. It's because if you pay players enough attention, dude, even when people aren't performing, look at the difference in Malik Willis from Tennessee to the Packers. You know what I mean? With the proper scheme and the proper attention to detail, the proper coaching, proper this, proper whatever, you're able to grow and come up with a new level of success. And I think that, if we're talking about, all of these teams from the NFC, because I don't give a fuck. I like the NFC better than the AFC. I just like more of the teams in the NFC. I think it's more interesting. AFC is kind of bullshit to me, but that is what it is. But yeah. I think that there's definitely a trend that's coming in the NFL where the head coaches are finally starting to learn their players, and Dan Campbell is a walking and living, breathing example of that. Like,
you got to be. With your players.
He was on the Lions 0-16 team. And now he's about to lead them, possibly back to another NFC championship, maybe a Super Bowl.
What's your buddy's name? That's the Lions fan.
Papa. That's Corey Thompson. That's my dude, man.
You said Papa?
We call him Papa. We call him Papa or Corey. Yeah.
Hey, Papa. I'm with you, dog. I'm gonna beat everybody in the NFC North every game. I need you to talk.
Fuck you, Axel.
Every single Skype podcast. And enjoy this. You're going to lose your whole coaching thing besides Dan Campbell.
Next year. Yeah, you're about to be. You're going to be booty.
You're going to be bad after that again.
Hell yeah, dude.
Especially with Hutchinson finding out that his ankles and ACL are made out of.
Do you think? No, well, his name was ACL, dude. He broke 2 bones. His tibia and fibula are shattered. Like, I think his career is over.
He has glass bones.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but dude. So let me ask this. And this will be our last kind of closing remarks thing. Moving forward, which team do you think is the most underrated in the NFL?
Oh, that's a good one. So,
I can go first if you need a minute.
Yeah, go ahead and give me yours. Let me ponder on this for a second.
So let me think about it. Actually, I actually have two teams. One of them is the Denver Broncos. And you say that, but I think because obviously they're in the AFC, it's a tight division. But to be honest with you, they still have a shot at making one of the AFC wildcard spots. They do. Something you got to watch out for. The second team is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, I can see that only because of what's his name? Is it Mike Tomlin? Right?
Mike Tomlin.
That's that coach's name.
Mike Tomlin. Yeah.
Mike Tomlin. Yeah. He's a dog, dude. He's always been a dog. I mean, that man literally has been relevant since we were in middle school.
Yeah, and still a badass coach, dude.
I'm gonna say the first one that's been on my radar to be good. And you want underrated, right? One that no one thinks is going to be good. Yeah. What's our time frame? Are we saying the next year?
This season.
Like ones that are just going to turn up and they're going to be contenders that we aren't thinking are contenders right now?
Yeah.
I'm literally looking at all of them right now, trying to think which ones. I mean, I don't know, dude. Honestly, this entire time, I mean, no one's really been talking about them that much anyway, but...
The Cardinals.
I'd say... Everyone's going to say I'm a little far-fetched on this, but I'd say either the Bengals, because they're not...
They're still alive.
What's
the score? I'm going to look at the score of the game tonight. Let's see if they're going to beat the Ravens.
I don't even know right now.
I'm about to look it up right now. Go ahead.
If they do, that'd be pretty cool. But probably the Bengals are
it's tied right now. It's tied 7-7 right now.
If not them, maybe this season I could see. I don't know, dude. It's
an interesting question because
we're already at that point where a lot of teams are kind of starting to cement.
Yes, but you also know
Texans. I haven't heard a lot about the
Texans.
Honestly,
the Texans have been hit or miss. They've been hit or fucking miss. And honestly,
They've lost a lot of people. They've lost a lot of people.
Also, CJ Stroud ain't balling. He's not balling.
Diggs is out for the season with ACL tear. Yeah. Now, what team do I think though is going to be slept on? But I think in the next 3 years could be really good. Honestly, Raiders.
I completely disagree with you there. I think they're about to enter some dark ass times, bro.
Fourth highest amount of cap space and spending ability.
Who wants to go play there, Axel?
Great draft capital right now. Great. They have one of the highest, I think, amounts of draft capital right now.
I disagree.
gonna get a new quarterback because Minshew ain't gonna be.
Nah, Minshew is a wash.
Season.
But see, this thing, like, dude, even collegiate wise, there's not that many great quarterbacks this year. All the pieces are not going to be there in the next 3 years for them, and that's my only thing. I think honestly, the Washington Commanders are about to be relevant for a while. Just telling you right now, the Commanders are about to be.
Their whole division's
ass
kind of like falling apart and boo boo. So I can see that, but I mean,
the Cardinals too, though. They're leading their division. Crazy enough.
I'd say Raiders are my watch out team for the next few years. I think so. I think they have a lot of potential. It's a good landing spot, great money, great ability to start a culture. Like, it's in Vegas now. They're their own thing.
That is, dude. And we were talking about their stadium too on the previous episode of the show.
They need a quarterback.
They need a fucking coaches. They need coaches to turn their players. Yeah, that's their problem, and that's why
their coach is going to get let go too. They're going to have a new coach after this season, so they're going to have a new coach. They're going to have probably a new quarterback. I know that it looks like they're saying Shadur is going to go there, which go either way. And it's just like they have everything in stone for opportunity to do that and bring a big name in and do something with it. It's hard to say right now, dude. I mean, but I just think they have the best potential.
I can see that.
That's my wild take, but honestly, yeah, the team that I think could be good for a couple more years going in, yeah, definitely the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is a dog right now. I see him kind of running the.
He reminds me a lot of Joe Burrow.
NFC
actually.
East. He's gonna run the NFC East for at least
a while.
3 years.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be relevant for a while, dude.
Yeah. So.
All right. So with that being said, dude, I'm gonna give my closing remarks. Axel, you got anything you want to say before we end the show?
Taysom Hill's going to get a touchdown today. We're going to shock the world. Rizzy's going to want to punch the head coach for the Falcons in the face, probably.
I'd love to see that fight.
Get a big dub. I think we might get a little revamp maybe this week. I mean, at the end of the day, my expectations are not high. We win. Hey, we embarrass the Falcons. We lose. Hey, we're closer to getting a really high draft pick. The season's kind of in my mind.
That's the thing. At this point, you guys got to lock in on the tank.
When we can. And do what we can.
Try to get a high draft pick.
I think our dubs are just any dubs we do get are just going to be insult dubs. Just
it's like fuck you. It's like fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is still something worth fighting for, which is also fun. So, yeah. So my closing remarks here: the Packers. We're going into a bye week 10, but we're coming off a shaky game with Detroit, and we have the Bears coming in. We're actually I think we're going to Chicago to play the Bears, if I'm not mistaken. I think that that game that's a must win. It's an absolute must win for the Packers because we're in a delicate spot right now. We haven't really shown any true consistency throughout the season. Minus the Malik Willis games, and that's not the real Packers. Jordan Love is questionable. His health is questionable. So my hopes is that we can just really take this bye. People take it easy in practice. We don't have any other injuries, and that maybe we can come in healthy into the Bears game and squash them. So I mean, hey, go Pack, go. I think that the Packers. We had a long road, but there's still a shot. There's still a shot, dude. Dude, Axel, I just want to say, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude. All you viewers, dude, I hope you guys made it this far. You guys, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment if you think that we missed some takes, talk shit with us, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching this fight.